welcome. We're here for lesson 2 in our Development Consulting Mastery Program. Now, some of you watching this lesson may already be students, and some of you are just applicants. Whatever the state you find yourself in right now in terms of your enrollment, I want you to pay keen attention to what we're going to talk about, because this is going to be a game changer for you. In this lesson, we're going to cover what you need to do to secure your first development consulting contract in 30 days. Now, in the world of development consulting, 30 days refers to 30 working days. That means Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. And if Monday to Friday is 5 days, 30 days then will be 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, you can be signing your first contract. Now, in this case, we're not looking at the size of the contract so much. Some of you may sign a $2,000 contract, and some of you may sign a $10,000 contract within this space of time. What matters is that you begin to put into practice the steps that I will be teaching you to ensure that you succeed as an international development consultant. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, one of the first things we need to consider, even before you begin this applying the strategies, is the fundamental issue around your mindset. You see, until you believe that you have what it takes to become a successful consultant, until you believe that you have what it takes to bring impact, to bring change into an organization, to make a difference in the lives of beneficiaries, you're not going to do it. So do you believe that you have what it takes to become a professional consultant? Do you believe that you have what it takes to become a successful international development consultant? One that can actually make a difference in the lives of people in developing countries. Good. Now that we're clear on that, we also need to understand that to secure a contract in 30 days requires some hard work. You're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to be dedicated to doing the things, and there are quite a few things that you will need to do in order to get to that point. And these are the things I'm going to share with you today. But the key, just having that information is not going to make any difference until you begin to apply it. And the application, now studies have shown that 99% of people who absorb knowledge, who take in knowledge like these, don't do anything with it. What I expect of you is to be part of the 1% that will take action, that will take the lessons that I'm sharing with you and put it into practice so that it works for you. All right? So what are the things that you need to do? Well, in terms of the strategy that you will employ to secure a contract in the first 30 days, the very first thing you need to do, number one, is to decide on your specialty or your niche. In our last lesson, we looked at some of the different international development careers out there in different sectors, different markets, different industries. Now, I understand that some of us have multiple skill sets. I, for one, have multiple skill sets. But in this business, you have to be known as a specialist in one area. Maybe two, but definitely you do not want to go beyond that. So what are you going to be known for? All right? Now, some areas come together. For example, careers and education come together as one. So in my case, I'm a career and education expert. I'm also an institutional capacity development expert. Those are the two areas that I work in. That's it. Career and education, institutional capacity development. And I found a way to link the two of them together. Now, when I began in this business, I didn't start in career and education. When I first positioned myself in this business, I positioned myself as a business development expert. Because I had just come from marketing in the private sector, in technology, and moving into international development, the natural transition for me was to go directly into business advisory services and business development. So for the first 3 years, I was working squarely with small businesses, on different projects, different programs, building the capacity of small business people, especially in the areas of marketing. And then later on, I realized that I wanted to do something different, and I had to rebrand myself and reposition myself in careers in education and institutional capacity development. So what is your specialty? What are you going to position yourself as? Is it project management? Is it strategic leadership? Is it communications, media and communications? Is it environmental management, natural resource management? What is your area of specialty? Now, even if you have multiple, you need to decide on the first one, because you're just getting started and you do not want to confuse people to say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Because at that point, you're communicating that you're jack of all trades. And we know that jack of all trades is master of none. So what are you going to be a specialist at? That's the first decision you need to make. Because when you decide, it informs the industry, the kind of firms that you'll be reaching out to. It informs the people that you reach out to as well and connect with, which we're going to be talking about that shortly. Once you decide on this area, you are now able to do the second thing, which is to research opportunities. So let's say you've decided that you're going to be an environmental management specialist, or climate change and environmental management specialist, and we'll use that as the example. What you want to do now is to research current openings in the area of climate change and environmental management. You also want to research past openings, and the reason you're looking at current and past openings is to identify keywords. Keywords that are being used in these advertisements, in these call for proposals. Because these keywords, you want to highlight them, you want to copy them, and you want to use the exact keywords in branding yourself. And we'll talk about that, but you need to use those exact keywords in your CV and resume. You need to use those exact keywords in your LinkedIn profile, which we're going to be talking about shortly. So first step, decide. And we say we're using climate change and environmental management as an example. The next thing is to research current openings within your area, in your target market. All right? If you do not live in a developing country, then find a developing country that you're interested in working in, and you start to look for opportunities there. So where and how do you find opportunities? Well, there are a number of resources that you can use to find these opportunities. I'm going to share 2 of the free ones with you, because these are the very ones that I started with, and there are some of them that you have to subscribe to and you pay annual subscription fees. We're not going to go into that now. We'll talk about that later on in the program. But for now, the 2 free ones are www, and this will be down in the description, Relief Web, ReliefWeb.int, reliefweb.int, and the other is www.unjobs.org. Now, these 2 websites alone have a lot of openings every single day from different international development organizations. Okay, I know this says UN Jobs, but you can find jobs from other NGOs that are not within the UN system as well. All right, so you want to begin to familiarize yourself with these 2 websites. If you go to Relief Web, later on we will do a live screen video where you see, and we'll actually walk through the websites with you later on in the program for those students who go on to enroll. But on Relief Web, you can search for consultancies, you can search for part-time jobs, you can search for full-time jobs, you can even search for volunteer opportunities. They are all there. So it's important that you go first to start searching for consultancies in the area of climate change and environmental management. When you go to search, you can type in climate change, you can type in environmental management as a search keywords, and then you see some of these opportunities that begin to pop up. So once you've identified these opportunities and you've pulled out those keywords, you want to use those keywords in updating your profile. Now this will include your CV or resume. It will include your LinkedIn profile. And even though Facebook is more of a personal, fun social media platform, I encourage my students to also update their Facebook profile. You want your social media representation to reflect who you are branding yourself now to be. All right, so that when people go to search for you, there is consistency in what they see about you. That's very important. So you take the keywords that you find, you rebuild your profile from the summary to the heading and everything to reflect the new you. Okay. Now, when it comes to how do you exactly update your resume, how do you exactly update your LinkedIn profile, there's significant material later on in the program that explains that, from capturing the best possible heading that speaks of who you are to telling your story. We will look at that as well. How do you build your summary on LinkedIn so that recruiters, so that program managers are interested in talking to you, in getting you to help them. Many of the projects I've gotten from LinkedIn without being the one going for it. They've reached out to me. As a matter of fact, I currently work on a project that has brought me a good bit of money, for which I was approached simply because of my LinkedIn profile. So it's very important, and we will go through a very deep, detailed training on what you can do and how you can update your LinkedIn profile. But I mean, even without me, you can begin to investigate how you can do this. All right. So you've decided on your specialty, you've researched opportunities, current and past, to identify keywords that you now use in updating your profile. But there are some current opportunities that you can already take advantage of here. So what you want to do, and this is very important, in the open opportunities that you find that are related to your area of specialty, you want to become a detective right now. So you're a climate change and environmental management expert. You've done your research. You've identified some open opportunities and where they're looking for consultancies. Now you want to position yourself as the expert to fill that position. Well, you need to ask yourself a question. And this is where you have to play detective. You need to ask yourself a question. What problem are they trying to solve? You see, in the business of consulting, what we do is we solve problems for our clients. In international development, many of the projects have a similar problem matrix. We don't have time right now to go through the problem matrix, but many of the organizations have similar problems, and consultants are the ones who come in to solve those problems. So in the area of climate change, for example, they may have a problem of doing climate finance calculations. Okay? Or they may have the problem of developing educational materials on climate change for students. Or they may have the problem of drafting climate change related policy for the national government to introduce in their parliament. They may have the problem of whatever, I don't know, okay? They may have the problem of carving out the strategic direction for the new climate change organization that they've set up in this country. So as the expert, you need to be clear on what problem they're trying to solve. Once you are clear on the problem, you then go on to number 5. And number 5 is publish. So up until now, you have not applied for any consultancy, and this is very key. You see, many people, the moment they see a vacancy, they want to run and submit an application like everybody else. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do here is to position ourselves as the expert so that we are approached and asked if we want to do the job and how much we'll charge to do the job. All right? There's a difference between you going and saying, hey, pick me, here's my CV. Pick me, here's my CV. Pick me, here's my resume. There's a complete difference between that and I'm the expert, and if you need my help, call me. So what makes that difference is the approach. So far, we're not doing pick me, we're not sending CVs yet. We play detective, we know the problem they want to solve, now we publish. And we're publishing 5 simple articles. You don't want to do more than that, and you could do less, but I found 5 to be a good number. The very first article should be a how-to article. How to ... And guess what goes in the ... The problem you've identified. So maybe the problem is drafting policy to introduce to legislature, climate change policy. So your article will be how to draft a policy that moves national legislature to action, or how to develop climate change education that excites 6th graders, or how to calculate climate change credits. Because you know the problem, you now offer your solution in this article. So you are the expert. I'm not the expert here. You are the expert. You will outline what you need to do, what the solution is to this problem, and you put that in an article. And maybe, generally, in these technical areas, one article is not enough, because you do not want the article to be so bulky. So if you find that an article is going to be a very large article, maybe 3,000 words or 2,000 words, it's simple. You can still have the one article, but you break them down into part 1, part 2, part 3, and so on. You get the idea. So it's just the same title running, how to draft policy for legislative action, part 1. How to draft policy for legislative action, part 2. Up to part 5, and that way you are now an expert because you have published an article, or you've published articles. All right. So once you publish these articles on LinkedIn, you move to the next step. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but all of this can really happen within the matter of the first 3 days if you're committed to it. All right, I'm talking serious commitment, 8 to 10 hours, sitting on your butt and getting the work done because you mean it, because you're serious, because you want to make a difference for yourself. So you publish this. The first place you want to publish this is certainly on LinkedIn. And then you take those same articles. You're not changing anything. You go to Medium.com and you publish those exact same articles on Medium as well. So why are you publishing these articles on 2 different places? Well, I'm not going to try to teach you digital marketing right now, but basically you are putting your name out there and you're allowing Google and these other sites to begin to recognize you as an expert on this particular area. So maybe when somebody's looking for a climate change expert in Estonia and they go climate change consultant Estonia, because you have written this article on LinkedIn and Medium, which get millions of visitors daily, your articles will pop up and people will begin to see that you are an expert on this. So you go to Medium and you republish the same article that you published on LinkedIn. Now, please do not go and copy somebody else's article and publish it. That's plagiarism. By now, you should know that. As a matter of fact, you're a master's degree holder, or you're, at the very least, you have your first degree and you know the implications of plagiarism. So we're not going to go into that. please make sure that you do your own writing and you communicate your own ideas as the expert that you are. Once your articles are published, number 7 is to identify key partners or champions. You want to be able to identify partners and champions. And here's what I mean. Whatever the organizations were that publish these opportunities that you saw in the first place, by now you have an idea as to what kind of organizations they are and if you, in fact, you want to work with them. So let's say it's a UN agency or it's another major international organization like the World Bank that has published these opportunities. And you're now targeting to become a consultant to the World Bank or a consultant to the UN, UN whatever, UNDP, UNICEF, or UN Institute for Training and Research. Okay, you want to find a person high up enough in this organization, in the country that you want to work in, who can be your champion, who can speak on your behalf when you're not there. And this is very important. So you go back to LinkedIn and you use the advanced search feature on LinkedIn. And when you go to the advanced search feature, you see where you can search for people by country and job title and college you graduated from, and there's so many options there. So once you go to the advanced search, what you want to do is to type in the country that you want to work in, or that you're targeting. You want to, where they have organization, you want to type in the name of your target organization. So if it's the World Bank, you want to put in World Bank. If it's, whatever, you want to put that in. And click search and see how many persons in your network already that come up working in these organizations. If you don't find anything reasonable, sometimes you go back to the ad that you saw the vacancy on, and there's going to be a contact person if you have questions. You want to copy that name and go to LinkedIn and search for that person. And then search for people that are connected to that person. And what you're trying to do is to establish a professional connection. So once you identify like 5 key persons in this organization, high up enough. And by high up enough, we're talking job titles like program manager. You see, consultancies, the decision to hire consultants doesn't come from the country manager. So while it's true that you may want to connect with country managers, but it's the program or project officers who tend to create the need for consultancies and make decisions on who they want to work as a consultant on their project. So you want to find people with these kinds of titles and you connect with them. Once you've connected with them, by sending them a connection request, you could type in a simple message. Don't just send a request and leave it like that. All right? You can send a simple message and say, "Hey John, my name is Dan, and I noticed that you work with the UN Agency for Climate Change, and I'm a serious fanatic on climate change. I really enjoy the work you're doing, and I'd love to connect to exchange some ideas on how we can make the world a safer place." You leave it at that. All right? You're not saying that I'm looking for a job, I'm looking for consultancy. No. I'm a fan of climate change, and I work in climate change, and I see what you're doing. I'm excited about what you're doing. I love what you guys are doing over at the UN agency, and I'd love to connect with you to share some ideas on how we can make the world a safer place. That's it. All right? You have to understand that these people are busy, and so you don't want to send anything more than that in your connection request. You send that, chances are the person is going to answer, the person is going to connect with you as well. And once that person connects with you, you exchange pleasantries. "Hey, thank you for connecting with me. As I mentioned, I work in climate change myself, and I really like what you're doing. By the way, I recently published a set of articles on XYZ, and here are the links. Please take a look at them when you have some time and tell me what you think. By now, you should be getting to where we're going, right? Because when you do that, remember, this is the guy who's hiring for a consultant, or he knows somebody who's hiring for a consultant, or he works in an organization that's hiring for a consultant. And all you've done is to share with him your articles, or her your articles that solves that problem that they have already. By the way, I recently published a set of articles on this XYZ, and you might find it interesting. Please take a look and tell me what you think when you have some time. And you leave it at that. What's going to happen is, if you've done this right, and you found the right problem that they're looking to solve, and you found the right person or the right people, that person is going to get back and say, oh wow. As a matter of fact, we do have an opening for a consultant right now to help us deal with this issue. Would you mind taking a look at it, or are you available to send in an application or to send in a proposal? Then, and only then, do you submit a proposal under this approach. When you have done the work and you've made the connections and you have been asked whether you're interested, then and only then do you submit a CV or proposal or whatever the case is. And you don't even need to run into that as well. You may reply and say, oh, that's great. What are you guys trying to accomplish? Send me the terms of reference. Let them send you. You've seen it already, but it's not your business to tell them that you've seen it. Let them send it to you. And then you can go through it and say, oh, well, this is right up my alley. I'd like to submit my, just my CV. Take a look at it, and let's talk. Or, all right, I'll send a proposal including my CV. With this approach, from the time you begin the research to the time you have this conversation will usually take the first 15 days, the first 3 weeks, if you've done it right. Now, the next 3 weeks will be a series of back and forths. You submit the proposal, they getting back to you and telling you, okay, maybe your price is too high, or we want to do this, or we want to do that, and X, Y, Z. Excuse me. So the first 3 weeks, the first 15 days, you will be at that point. Now, is it going to happen like this on your first try? Probably not. So you need to work fast. If you're doing the research, you will definitely find at least 2 or 3 organizations that are hiring in your area of expertise, and you want to do this process with the 3 of them. And you're likely going to find one of them that's up your alley. Now, what's going to happen is this person or these people that you connect with in this process automatically become your champions. Why? Because their first experience of you was a professional one where you demonstrated your expertise through sharing or by sharing those articles with them. So in their mind, this is an expert. This guy is an expert. This gal is an expert. And they become your champions right away. And in your exchanges with them, remain professional, offer help, be helpful, and you will definitely get to a point where they ask you to submit a proposal. Now, I know we've talked a lot so far and we've covered a lot. And right about now, there's 3 things that could be happening. You may be looking at all of this and saying, hey, you know what? This process is not for me. It's too cumbersome or whatever the case is. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. You may also be looking at it and say, wow, this is great. I can do this. I have what it takes and I can do this. And that's great. Go out there and make it happen. Or you may be the 3rd person that says, you know what, I can definitely do this, but I think I need some help along the way. I think I need some guidance to make sure that it happens for me. And so I want to get some help, especially in the area of developing your LinkedIn profile and the outreach messages and doing, guidance on where to go and additional places that you can find information on opportunities. So if you're in that category and you realize that there's potential here for you to earn, between $300, $500, and $800 a day, depending on what country you're working in. and you're really serious about taking your career to the next level, here's what I want you to do. If you haven't done that already, I want you to reach out to me through the link that you will find at the bottom of this video, and let's schedule a time to talk. Let's get on the phone. Let's understand. Let me understand what your needs are, what your challenges are, and let's agree on whether or not I can help you achieve your goals. I mean, because I certainly cannot come here and say I can help everybody. But if you've been watching up until this point, then I'm sure I may be able to help you reach those goals that you have in becoming an international development consultant. Now, certainly that will require the decision to invest in yourself. You're going to invest, the primary thing that you're going to need to invest in yourself is time. If you are not willing to invest the time in making this happen, then don't bother, because I wouldn't be able to work with you and you'll be wasting my time and yours. But if you're committed to invest the time and the energy to make this work for you, then reach out to me, let's talk. There's also going to be financial investment involved, obviously. All right? And so when you are ready, reach out to me and we will be able to develop a game plan for you. I will enroll you in the rest of the program where there are detailed trainings. We go through the LinkedIn platform step by step. We'll get on the computer together, we'll share a screen, and you will see exactly step by step what I'm talking about. We'll work with you to carve your own LinkedIn story, your own heading that's captivating, and we will develop a game plan, identify people together that you can reach out to help you build your profession as a consultant. All right, so it's been a great time sharing some of these ideas with you. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.